So here we have a pitchfork. People always equate that with the whole devil thing. Well, you know, the whole devil. There's an entity, but the pictures are not of I would say, of that entity, because they have a goat, and it's Saturnian. Saturn rules Capricorn. That's why you have the goat. You see the goat and stuff all the time, because it represents Capricorn. So they use symbology to tell a story. So when you talk about a pitchfork, people think it's this thing, but it's not. Say it or understand it in a different way. It's a pitchfork. It's two prongs. It's pitch. It's a tone. You know, like when you hit that thing on your knee and you listen to it, the tuning fork. That's a pitchfork. This is their representation of it, and that's what you always see the devil with the pitchfork. And normally his is 3, and what is 3? Well, on the streets, the black guys, they call it folks, Folks, because that's like a street gang, but they're just trying to say is forks, which is forks, and as in 3 is 3 on the Kabbalistic tree, which is Saturn. But it's a pitchfork. It's a sound, which brings us back to the whole thing in the church, because you go to church to make atonement. So again, hiding truth in symbology, and not telling you the truth about what the fuck it is. I mean, for instance, somebody wrote and said, I used to follow you, and now you're doing the devil's work. I'm doing the devil's work. I'm doing the devil's work? Really? How much am I getting paid? Because I haven't seen any residuals from any of my efforts yet. And I refuse to take any money for the help that I'm trying to offer. And following me, that's mistake number 1. Nobody should be following me about anything. You're supposed to be trying to learn to do this shit for yourself. Don't be counting on me. I'll fucking let you down. So let's look. Use your head for a minute on this stuff. Why don't they tell us the truth about what this is, or at least what they believe that it is? Why don't they tell us that they believe that there's one God that is both male and female? And they represent it in the Christian church and all churches, because the man's prancing around dressing up like a tranny, right? Wearing a black robe, the woman's robe, but it's black because it represents the male authority figure. Why won't they tell you that? Why don't they just tell us that that's what it is? Why do they need to go out of their way to lie to you, to get you to think that you're actually trying to worship one guy when they've actually got you doing everything the opposite of what you think you're doing? Why are they doing that? Why don't they just tell you the truth? I mean, to me, what's the deal? People are so dumb they go right along with it. Why don't they tell you that a pitchfork is a pitched fork? A pitchfork. Why don't they just tell us that the whole world is one big organization? I don't know. I can't see the harm in it, to be honest with you. But there must be something greater to it than that, because these guys are steeped in deception. Again, I don't give a shit if you think that I'm doing the devil's work. I'm trying to open people's eyes to the fact that this shit exists. It's going on. You're being duped. We've been being duped. And these fucking things that you should have noticed, and including me and everybody else, is right in front of your face. All religions, Christian, Muslim, they all wear the same biker fucking jacket. You cannot tell me that one religion is better than the other when you're all wearing the same fucking colors. You have a different idea about how things are supposed to work. That I'll agree with. That yours is better than the other one? No. None of these guys are telling you the fucking truth about all of this stuff. The Jews wear a black cube on their head. The Muslims walk around a big cube. Right? The Christians go in churches that are steeped in Masonic sexual symbology all over, including the door when you walk through it is a woman's snatch. Take a look at a Catholic church at the door sometime. And your Muslim temples. You know, it's all a big goof. If you think any of those guys are really trying to help you, they're not. All of this fucking meditation and all that bullshit. If it was that great, the people that are doing it, what are you still doing here? And if it's so great and you can escape in your mind, then why don't you just go hibernate and get the fuck out of here and leave the rest of us alone with your silly fucking New Age bullshit? Because ain't nobody doing nothing here. Nobody's doing nothing here. You know what you do here? You grow old and you fucking die. And you watch your friends and your family die and your pets. That's what you get to do. And you get to slave because this place is a job. And you'll work the rest of your fucking life because you're fucking livestock. For the idiots, oh, I'm in stocks and bonds. We're all in stocks and bonds, you jagoff. Every fucking person walking this earth is in stocks and bonds because it represents slavery. We're taking down the flag in South Carolina because we're getting rid of slavery. You ain't getting rid of shit. You're as much under the fucking rule of this old Babylonian system as you've ever been. You feel good because they took down a fucking flag. What, so they can put the gay flag up? What, is that better? It's the same thing. Idiots can't see that you're being lured into a false sense of security. What silliness. All the religions are silly. Religions are traditions of men. Spirituality is what's inside of you. Why don't they just tell you the truth? Because obviously there might be a chance that somebody might fuck it up. Why don't they just tell you that atonement is a sound? It isn't praying. Atonement is not praying. It's a tone. It's a sound. That's why it's a pitchfork. Isn't it funny that the devil's running around with the symbol of atonement and that the bell is on the top of the church? And then when people hear the bell, they come to the building? The bell is the Baal. Baal is Bel. It's Bel Saturn. I mean, this stuff is, it's so obvious and in your face. I'm not against the people that go into those establishments because most of them are going in there with, they really are trying. It's just that I don't know what makes somebody break off from that like I did and start looking for stuff. I can't answer that. And I'm not going to demonize somebody because they don't. I'm just saying, when I lose I'm not really losing my temper. When I get frustrated, it's not because I'm angry with anybody. It's because I can't really help anybody. I really can't help anybody out of this fucking shithole that we're in. I can't. I wish that I could. I can't even help myself. And the only thing I can do, unfortunately, is make them see something that maybe later on they'll regret seeing. And that's up to the individual. Believe me, I was far happier not knowing any of this shit than I am now. Because once you see it all the time, and it's on your mind for the rest of your life. But for whatever reason, I do see it, and I can't piece stuff together. And I said, don't follow me. Don't fucking base your belief systems on the shit that I'm showing you. Because there's every chance that I could be fucking wrong. I'm just telling you from what I see, this is what it appears to be. And now you have to make your own assessments of this stuff. You have to take care of yourself. I can keep helping you see it. It took me a long time to get this many people to see it, but they finally caught on. And then, of course, the establishment has to throw in people like Round Saturn's Eye, and then that idiot gets caught, the Rumpy Pumpy or whatever the fuck he does with his fucking boyfriend, and then they're trying to say, oh, Bill works for Round Saturn Eye. Really? Really? That fucking idiot didn't come on the scene until I'd already been doing this for 6 years. So how could I be working for him, you morons? Do the math. Nobody works for me. Nobody out there is going to make videos like me. Not because I'm a great video maker, because it's coming out of my head. I can't make videos like Trample on Snakes. I can't do it because it isn't coming out of my head. It's coming out of his head. And you guys should not be so fucking afraid to make videos or think that people are going to think that you're stupid. Look around you. This place has been constantly telling you what it is forever. Unless you fuck with somebody's bank account or you go and get involved in somebody's personal business, Nobody's going to bother you about this stuff. Nobody's going to come and threaten you or any of that stuff. If that was going to happen, it would have happened to me a long, long time ago. I got visited by a couple people, but not for the reasons of telling me to be quiet and all of that stuff like you see in the movies. Just out of curiosity of how I was coming to these conclusions, basically, more or less. You know, I mean, I don't know what fucking kind of game this is. I really don't know what all this is. All I know is that I see it and I can put it together. How it ever happened, I don't know. It started in 2007. Look, when I was a little kid, I knew that this whole thing was based on time. But I didn't know that it was the whole Saturnian thing. It never even occurred to me that it was the Saturnian thing. It's that one little verse in the Bible. Chiun, where Chiun is Assyrian for Saturn, and then I got insulted because I was a Lutheran, and I thought, well, this is bullshit, because if the Christians are tied to the Jews and the Jews are really worshiping Saturn, then we've been built, and that's when I started digging. The 9/11 thing kind of started me, and every time I searched that out, it kept getting more and more occult and more and more occult, and shit didn't add up, and that's how all of this got started. But it was never, like a crusade to save Christianity or tear Christianity down or join a Luciferian organization. No, I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. I'm a tree trimmer. That's all I do. This and go fly my fucking airplane. It's an exciting life, I can tell you. It's as boring as fuck doing this stuff. But whoever the idiot was that said, I used to follow you and now you're doing the devil's work, so I'm not going to. Well, don't follow me, idiot. Then you don't have to worry about whether I'm doing the devil's work or not, idiot.